Right, this game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Denver won and deferred. We got Landry deep for Miami. And McManus trying to drive it through the back of the end zone, and he earns a touchback, which will bring out Ryan Tannehill in this Miami offense. Now, he was sacked a season-high 5 times in the last outing against Buffalo. We're going to pay close attention to the right side today. Dallas Thomas at right tackle. Now, he was mismatched in that game against Mario Williams, who was constantly on Tannehill. And today, it's going to be Thomas and others trying to contain Von Miller, Tannehill's old Texas A&M teammate. They're going to come out with shotgun formation. And that's Landry, a fast emerging rookie out of LSU in motion. It's the give to Miller, and he's got 5. Lamar Miller is having a good season. Here's the Denver defense of Jack Del Rio, allowing just last week its first 100-yard rusher of the season, Trey Mason of the Rams, where, as Tracy reported, fighting a fever, but he's out there starting. And, of course, Talib and Harris, a pair of good corners, both out of Kansas University. And you see Von Miller down on a knee on the sideline after one play. 2nd and 5 for Miami, and Tannehill looks down the middle and finds his target. It's Deion Sims, who starts today again at tight end, with Charles Clay out with a hamstring and knee injury. Gain of 16.
How about Ryan Tannehill? Good way to start. Tight coverage. The defensive rush to pass rush. He's under pressure. He gets hit and just drills it right into the belly of Deion Sims for a first down. That'll give you confidence and take some of those pre-game or early game jitters away when you make a good throw like that.
So Miller still struggling on the sideline. First down carry. Miller of the Dolphins. Lamar Miller high-stepping it inside the 40, and Harold Hoskins, the backup tight end, had that whole side sealed, and it opens it up for 22.
On the outside, it takes a good block by the tight end, and you said it, Gator Hoskins. There you go, number 89. What a good block. That allows Miller to get outside, and anytime you see a running back in this league go outside on a good run, there's usually a really good blocking tight end that helps him get there.
Big run by Lamar Miller, but Von Miller, the story here in the first minutes, is now he's up limping on the Denver sideline, and the Dolphins are driving from the 37. Tannehill still has it, and he's going to fall forward for about 8. Tannehill has 4 carries this season already for at least 20 yards. And only Russell Wilson can say that. You can see what Tannehill's done since this team went over to London and played their 4th game. They were 1-2 heading to London, and since that time he's been on the rise.
Well, he's been on the rise, and you and I have talked about it. You could see it in his play. You could see it in the way he presents himself. We talked to him, and you know, Jim, the coaches are going, we should have yelled at him a lot earlier. But ever since that, it's amazing how well he's played.
His numbers against the Bills, he was sharp. 2 touchdowns, no picks. 2nd and 2, and he's got Landry who breaks free. Jarvis Landry is out of bounds near the 10. He made the catch and then fought off Chris Harris Jr., picks up 20.
Well, something that we talked about against the Buffalo Bills, when you talk about this receiving core for the Miami Dolphins, can they make enough contested catches? Here we are, the first 2 passes of the game. Landry, Chris Harris is all over him, and Deion Sims both make tough catches and excellent throws under pressure by Tannehill.
Daniel Thomas comes into the backfield. Dolphins already with 3 plays of at least 15 yards. And on 1st and goal, and that's Thomas taking the pile with him for 6. Here's this Denver defense that only gave up 1 touchdown last week, 5 field goals, 1 long touchdown throw to Kenny Britt. But they are giving up big yardage here as Miami's all the way down to the 3 now.
Well, they were looking to get confidence. One thing, this offense looks fast, operating the way they are right now. They wanted to give confidence to the quarterback and the offensive line. I think they've gained that here early in the game.
Linebacker McCray, 55, is in there for Miller, who looks like he might be ready to come in if he's given a chance here. 2nd and goal. And taking the quick handoff and burst ahead near the goal line. Touchdown from the far side. Touchdown, Daniel Thomas.
He reached out. He might have been over anyway, but at the last second, Daniel Thomas reaches out and gets the football across. And the good thing there for the Miami Dolphins, if you just look, watch the defensive line, it moves backwards, and that allows Thomas to get in there. There, clearly over the goal line. But Samson Satelli, he was the lead guy pushing that pile. Juwan James did a good job too.
This is a Denver defense that was tops in the league for much of the season against the rush. They just allowed Miami to drive, and 44 of it on the ground.
They conquered that slow start, didn't they?
Oh, they really did. And that's been one thing they really wanted to come out and do today. That's a big thing Philbin was talking about. Sturgis adds the extra point. Here's Denver allowing only 73 yards a game on the ground. They just gave up 44. Tannehill completed a couple of throws for 36. And there's Von Miller still getting some attention from some of the personnel. Let's get an update, in fact, on Von Miller from Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. He missed most of that drive because he took a hard hit to the groin area. He just really needed to just shake it off, walk it off. Right now, he looks like he's fine and ready to go back in on that next drive.
It happened on the first play of the game. And that was, we talked about that matchup. That was Dallas Thomas.
Pushing him back,
Pushing him back, and the knee to the groin. And Miller staggered to the sideline and missed the rest of that series, and the Dolphins took advantage.
Well, on both throws by Ryan Tannehill, he was under pressure both times. So that's something to look forward or look at as this game goes along.
Bolden is the man who fields it, Omar Bolden. It's usually Andre Caldwell or even Isaiah Burst, but Bolden gets a chance, and he matches his uniform number, 31-yard return, which brings out Peyton Manning, 30 touchdowns on the season, which leads the league. He has now, oddly enough, thrown 2 picks in each of the last 3 games.
Yeah, he was pretty upset when he was talking to us just about that, the fact that he had thrown those interceptions. And the good thing about Peyton Manning, he understands the dynamics of his football team. When that game was over in St. Louis, he said, look, quarterback's got to play better, and he knew he missed some chances in that game.
And as Tracy reported, Julius Thomas inactive with an ankle injury, so Virgil Green gets the start. Straight ahead they go with C.J. Anderson. The undrafted second-year man out of Cal has 8. It's pretty good Miami defense right here. Second in the league overall. Total defense. Jenkins in on so many tackles. And the big thing missing for them today is Cortland Finnegan, so Jamar Taylor. Let's watch that matchup too.
Yeah.
Taylor getting his second career start.
Taylor, high draft pick, very capable, played well against Buffalo. Not a big drop-off for the Dolphin defense.
2 straight running plays for the Broncos, yielding a first down. So Peyton, the last 7 times he's gone into a game off of a loss, he's won the next game. And he's thrown 28 touchdowns. So averaging 4 touchdowns a game after a loss.
374 yards. I couldn't hardly listen, Jim. I'm just looking at those numbers. 374 yards a game after those losses. But already you're looking at it, double tight ends. And one of those tight ends is an offensive lineman, Paul Cornick.
On first down, we're staying with the ground game, and it's going to lose one this time with Anderson. You know, Peyton's only lost consecutive games one stretch in his Bronco career, and that was games 2 and 3, right? Season number 1 here in Denver, at Atlanta, and home against Houston. As you saw, he's backed up the next 7 with wins and big performances.
Listen, just his talent, but every offense he's been on is so dynamic. When they do lose, of course, they can always come back because they can overcome some adverse situations.
2nd and 10. Running it every time so far. And Anderson able to slip out of a tackle and pick up about 4. C.J. Anderson is going to see the bulk of the carries today. Again, they're without Monte Ball and Ronnie Hillman. That could be the case for another week or two. And what do you think of C.J. Anderson?
Well, I think he's a power runner. We've seen that right ahead so far here today. But you can tell after having so few running attempts last week, they're determined to get back to being physical on the offensive side. That means running the football and doing it well.
54 attempts last week through the air, only 9 rushing plays. Now here they go throwing it for the first time. Peyton's going to dump it off to Anderson, who sidesteps the first tackler. And that move is going to be close to the first. Boy, he broke away from Odrick, and it looks like the spot's going to be good enough for the first down.
Yeah, and it's really important just to keep this drive going and give the offense some rhythm. That's what you always want. And also interesting, Virgil Green, the tight end, stayed in and pass block to make sure Peyton Manning had more time to make those decisions and where to throw it.
Well, all thanks to Anderson, they pick up that first down, that one wiggle, and they bring in Juwan Thompson now with a new set of downs. And here is the second-year man, or the rookie, I should say, out of Duke. And that is a nice piece of running on his first carry. Juwan Thompson, also undrafted. Last week against the Rams, the injuries started piling up. First, Anderson fell on his own teammate, Julius Thomas, on his ankle. And then Monte Ball coming back after missing 5 games with a groin injury, re-aggravated things. And then the concussion that ended Sanders' day. You see Julius Thomas on the sideline today. 2nd and 3. And Demaryius Thomas is going to have the first down on a gain of 6.
What a good way to get wide receivers incorporated into the game. That was a running play. Peyton Manning saw that Jamar Taylor was far enough off. Give Demaryius Thomas a chance to catch the football, get involved, and pick up a first down.
So Peyton brings him to the line quickly. Just chipping away on this first drive for the Broncos. No play longer than the 8 yards gained on the first play of the drive. A lot of restructuring now with 3 on the play clock as Peyton on first down gives it to Thompson, and he's met by a couple of Dolphin defenders, including Misi. And Vernon with a flag on the field. Jeff Triplett is the referee for this game. As you see, some of the Dolphins, including Jimmy Wilson, trying to build their case.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 27 of the defense.
That's Jimmy Wilson, who we said was in there arguing his
play. First down.
Unnecessary roughness called because of a headbutt. Of course, he's going against a player who's just concussed a week ago.
Well, the second time they both butted heads, but then Jimmy Wilson walked back in and instigated. And that's, listen, you're playing arguably the best quarterback in the history of the NFL. They can throw the ball against everybody, and you give them an easy 15 yards.
Sanders, who did not clear the protocol on concussions until Thursday, gets the inside handoff. And Emmanuel Sanders held in check for about 3. No, Emmanuel Sanders has been such a free agent find for them. Of course, we knew what he could do over in Pittsburgh, but a lot of teams wanted him, and he fit in so seamlessly with this Broncos offense.
A lot of those teams are sitting there going, we didn't try hard enough, and I agree. I thought he was the #1 free agent wide receiver out there. Denver got him. Number 88, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders. You do everything you can on offense to get him the football.
2nd and 7. C.J. Anderson back in, running off the right side, and he's dragged down at about the 19. Another gain of 3. That was Jenkins on the tackle for the Dolphins.
Well, we talked to Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, and the one thing he said, and I hear it from all defensive coordinators, when you get down inside the 20, the Broncos, of course, are great. They have so many plays they can give you, and the big thing you got to worry about is all the screens and unique plays that Peyton Manning has. Here comes a blitz.
That Coyle defense, he's done some job. Their last 5 games only giving up 11 points a game in a 4-1 stretch. 3rd and 5. Short pass to Tammy, and he's thrown down right away by Taylor. Then a loss of 1.
Jim, they were ready for it. If you show blitz, one of the #1 thing they like to go to is wide receiver screens. Peyton has to alter the throw, and look at Jamar Taylor. Good start for him. Recognizing it, coming up and making the tackle.
That'll bring out Brandon McManus. Traded from the New York Giants just before the start of the season. And the kick from 38 is good. It's now 9 out of 12 on the season. A little methodical start for the John Fox offense. March down the field. They gained the benefit of a 15-yard penalty, but end up with the field goal. Jim Nance and Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson here in Denver. I'd like to welcome those of you who saw Philadelphia win today, recovering after last week's trouncing at Green Bay, taking out Tennessee. And here at 7-3, the Dolphins took the opening kickoff and drove 80 yards and scored on the ground. Daniel Thomas. And meanwhile, the Broncos have just finished their first series. They drive down very methodically, end up with a 38-yard field goal by Brandon McManus. And Miami drive was particularly impressed with what they did on the ground.
Yes, that, and Denver's going to be a little happy with their drive too. The fact that they lined up and just ran the football right straight ahead at the Miami defensive line and got a couple first downs. So they established the fact that they're going to try to be more physical and more balanced. And when you do that, it keeps the defense on edge, no question.
McManus really caught that one. So, again, a touchback, and we're going to step aside for the first time. Tannehill, impressive on that first drive, directing them down the field for a touchdown. Back here in the first quarter in Denver, and Miami Dolphins at 6-4, coming off a mini bye, if you will, last having played a week ago Thursday in a win against Buffalo. You see Von Miller's back on the field for the Denver defense. First down from their own 20. The Dolphins give it to Lamar Miller, and Derek Wolfe got a hand on him first to gain of 2. And we will remind you, in a couple of weeks, the Cowboys will be at Soldier Field, take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears winners today for the second straight week, defeating Tampa Bay 21-13. Of course, we've got Thanksgiving coming up. We're going to be in Detroit for the first game up that day, the Bears and the Lions, and then we'll have the Bears again on Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. 4 receivers on 2nd and 8, and Tannehill led Landry just a little bit too much.
Well, he had him open that time. Jarvis Landry got protection. One of the big keys, you talked about the offensive line giving time, but the other big key for this Miami offense, they have to beat man-to-man coverage. So let's watch Dallas Thomas, the right tackle. Good job. He's big, bigger than, of course, Von Miller. Use that size and get the first initial hit and slow down Von Miller.
Miami never faced a third down on its opening drive. 3rd and 8. And here comes T.J. Ward giving chase. Tannehill forced to throw it away. Ward, a safety blitz, forcing to throw away, and 3 and out for Miami.
Well, blitzing's all about timing. Catch the quarterback when he's not ready. He came around the outside. And spacing, they gave him room, so they opened up a formation where he could run through, and T.J. Ward timed it perfectly.
Brandon Fields comes out. 8th-year man out of Michigan State. He did have one punt blocked earlier this season, but he's 3rd all-time in average yards per punt, only trailing Shane Leckler and Thomas Morstead. This one hops into the hands of Burse with a flag on the field. Burse tries to keep his balance out to about the 35. That was a 53-yard boot. The tackle was by John Denny, the long snapper.
Always wonder, does this altitude get the officials too when they have to run down the field?
Kind of looked like it right there, didn't
Jim
it?
Triplett was going,
Yeah.
hey, whew. It gets me. I walk up some stairs and I go, man, am I that out of shape? Don't answer that, Jim.
Yeah, I was about to.
Yeah, I thought you were.
During the kick, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 31 of the receiving team, blocking a player out of bounds.
The
That
penalty is
penalty
called
forced
an
at the end of the kick.
Holden.
First down, timeout.
And that is a little excessive. Into the photographers, cost them 15. Get the fastest football scores and updates with the CBS Sports app. The fastest app for sports fans. Download it now, CBS Sports app. Second time now the Broncos have the football. Drove for a field goal on their first series. They try to work the middle a little bit with Anderson, and he's got a couple. This is an interesting matchup, this high-powered offense against a strong defense.
Yes, Miami defense has put up some staggering numbers here of late. Anytime you shut out a football team in this league, that's special. And they did that against the San Diego Chargers. I expect them to be aggressive, even though they're going against Peyton Manning, and try to use the blitz whatever they can. They did the first drive, and it stopped this offense for a field goal.
On 2nd and 8, again, it's Anderson, who's got 5. Anderson getting the chance to play again with Ball and Hillman both out. And he's had some pretty good burst here in the last couple of weeks. But we met with him yesterday. He's a kid from the Oakland area, stayed there at Cal Berkeley. Took some advice from Marshawn Lynch.
Good person to get it from. And then Peyton Manning loves him because he's a great communicator. Talks to him back there. Tells him where he needs to go to block for Peyton Manning. There he is. Yep. There we are talking. Going to get up wide. This double-A blitz where there's a guy on each side of the center. Tough to defend.
3rd and 4. He picks up a blitzer, and the pass is over the head. Demaryius Thomas. So, like Miami, Denver's second drive finishes quickly.
You saw the blitz where there's a guy on each side of the center. That is a staple of this defense. And here's a matchup you want to watch. Jamar Taylor. Cortland Finnegan out, but Jamar Taylor, like I said, there's the blitz coming inside, and C.J. Anderson picks it up. Very good job. Jamar Taylor has speed, talent. Good start for him on the outside.
Britton Colquitt, 6th-year man out of Tennessee, slides over to get that snap, and boy, he had some pressure coming in on him too from McCain as Landry, look at that spin move. Been tossed out of bounds by the long snapper of Denver, Aaron Brewer. 45-yard punt. Each team scored the first time they had it. Both teams 3 and out on their second possessions. People affected by severe weather and other disasters need help now. To support those impacted by disasters like the winter storms in Buffalo and countless other crises, text Red Cross to 90999 to give $10 to American Red Cross Disaster Relief. CBS Cares. By the way, Talib was laying down on the table and getting stretched out with his left leg.
Yep, DeMarcus Ware not out there again, Jim, for the second time. Tracy reported he was under the weather.
Yep, fighting a fever.
It's a big deal. One of the league's best pass rushers not in this game.
Miami starting in Denver's territory, and that pass, well, they're going to ruin an interception. And that's Roby who was able to pick it off the ground before it. And I'm not sure about that. Was trying to hit LaMichael James right here with this pass. I thought it had bounced into the arms of Roby.
They ruled it on the field now, an incomplete pass. I thought it bounced,
Well,
and it did.
Clearly, but you know, the official closest to it allowed it to hold up.
I think the big thing is, watch, that's definitely hits the ground. But the thing, Jim, Tannehill was under pressure. Mitch Unrein right in front of him. 3 passes, 4 passes, pressure on every single one of them so far in this game.
There you go. Miami, again, starting with a short field. They have that more than any team in the league this year. Over to Mike Wallace, but a whistle first. It might be a challenge flag before the snap. And whoever would have sent that word down to the sideline gave out some bad information based on the replays we saw.
Well, his hands were underneath, but the fact that it kicked up so hard is what makes you think it hit the ground.
Denver is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Big play, good challenge by John Fox.
Well, here it is. We'll take another look at it. It's got to be incomplete, though. F triplet is ready.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The pass hit the ground. It is an incomplete pass. Denver is charged a timeout and their first challenge.
Well, Jim, let me just say this real quick. John Fox, it had to be a quick look and determination, and it's such a big play here early in the game. It could turn everything around. So that's why he would challenge. It's worth a timeout in the first half.
Well, I think it's not coming from John so much as it's coming from up top. And the replays we had seen were pretty clear. A 2nd and 10 for Miami from the Denver 47. And again, Tannehill going to keep it. Nice cut. Then takes a big hit from Webster after a gain of 7.
I like what Bill Lazor said to us last night about Ryan Tannehill. Hey, listen, he likes to run the football, and he's very good at it, but he does this a lot. He's able to get down the field and make people miss.
By the way, he ran away from his old Aggie teammate, Von Miller, who's still waiting for the first chance to hit him.
Yeah, there's no red jersey on him like there was in his college days, so it'll be interesting to see when it does happen.
DeMarcus Ware comes back in for the Denver defense, 3rd and 3. Landry slipped in motion, and Tannehill got the pass away somehow, and it is caught by Gibson for a first down.
Well, Von Miller had him that time and takes him down to the ground, but Tannehill made a couple really outstanding throws here early in the game. How about this? Just getting out of the reach of Von Miller and still able to make this throw. Boy, Von Miller had nothing but wonderful things to say about Tannehill. What did he say when I saw him on campus for the first time? I knew he was a quarterback.
That was back in the spring of '07 after they both had signed with A&M. Straight ahead. Nice piece of running by Miller for about 9. And that's going to close out quarter number 1 with the Dolphins in front, 7-3, and driving. We'll return to the Mile High City after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Miami with the 62 yards on the ground in the first quarter. That's the most rush yards allowed by Denver in any quarter this year. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson were back here for the start of the second quarter. And Miami has the football at the Denver 25. As snow flurries have returned, they've been on and off about 3 times today. It's Miller breaking through, getting down to about the 14.
Boy, Lamar Miller is quick, isn't he? He explodes through the line of scrimmage. We saw it a couple times against the Buffalo Bills. And once again, you look at it, Samson Satelli, Mike Pouncey, Shelley Smith all on the inside, doing an excellent job. This Miami offensive line finally got a full week of practice after shifting everybody around a couple weeks ago in a game against Detroit.
Got a new set of downs from the 14. Tannehill looking to strike, and he's got the completion. And twisting right at the first down marker is Mike Wallace.
Boy, it's trusting your wide receiver there. You got to anticipate it's going to be tight, top of your screen. Little stutter, go, stop. One thing you'll notice about this Dolphins team, the wide receivers, they have speed on the outside. They are not afraid to throw it to the sidelines. And they do it well.
They've got a 1st and goal to go. And again, Talib is out, so we're seeing a lot of Kayvon Webster, number 36. Here's Tannehill looking and finding Simms, who reaches across. They say the knee is down at the 1.
Doing a really good job. They're mixing it up. Bill Lazor, offensive coordinator, moving the quarterback all around, get him outside. I think he's going to end up short. At least my eye told me that. Yes. Oh, my gosh. He got a great spot. Inside the 1. It was really the 2-yard line.
Bill Lazor, the offensive coordinator. Let's see what he sends in here. He's got Miller returning to the backfield. It's going to spread things out on 2nd and goal from just inside the 1.
Two good run stoppers each side of the center for the Denver Broncos.
Tannehill still has it. He's looking for the pylon, and he's got the touchdown.
Man, that's a brave call. That's brave, because if it doesn't work, you're going to lose 3 or 4 yards. But they understand everybody attacking on the run, and it's a good block on the outside. Von Miller gets sealed inside by Deion Sims. And Tannehill, I'll tell you, every time I see him, I think he's getting faster.
He has shown some speed, getting away from Von Miller that other time on this drive.
When you play wide receiver at Texas A&M,
you've got some speed.
You've got some speed. How
about this? 74 rushing yards now by the Dolphins. And a second touchdown drive. This time it's Tannehill taking it across. 14-3 Miami. Tomorrow on CBS, start your week with an exciting new episode of Scorpion and see what people are talking about. Tomorrow, 9/8 Central, only CBS.
I thought you were going to talk about all those contact lenses.
Boy, that is a pretty big container. Didn't realize that many players would need them.
As long as it's not the wide receivers.
Right. This is Bolden. Had a nice return the last time he handled it. Got a 29-yard run back out to the 23 this time. Here comes Peyton. He's passed for only 11 yards so far, and he's down 11. Miami with the upper hand. Just a couple minutes into the second quarter, all across the board. Denver with its third possession as you look in on Cameron Wake.
2 tight ends. I think they're going to try to throw the football down the field here pretty quick. They've been trying to run it. Time for a play-action pass.
There you go. Swing it over to Sanders, and Clady helps push him forward. His left tackle grab hold of the wide out, and he throws him ahead for 5. Sanders' first catch of the game.
Yeah, boy, but I think the story of that play is the speed of this defense. Peyton Manning gets pressured right away. They blow the blocking assignments up front, and nobody blocked the interior defensive lineman.
Boy, this offensive line, as you alluded to, it's been under a lot of scrutiny this week.
It sure has. I mean, that was the big story after the game in St. Louis. The offensive line not running the football and not protecting Peyton Manning enough.
2nd and 5, and Peyton's pass. It's the right hand of Demaryius Thomas.
Tell you what, you got to get used to. Anytime you can watch all the film you want when you're getting ready for a football team, but you got to get out in the field and see it for yourself to get some experience. And what you find out about this Miami defense, and Jim, you know it, they're fast. They're faster than it looks on all the things you watch, and you got to make an adjustment and start playing differently because of the speed on their defensive side.
The longest pass play for the Broncos to this point, 6 yards. It's a 3rd and 5 from the 28.
Little different look. That's why he called timeout.
So that's the second timeout charged to Denver. They lost the challenge. That was their first, and now this one.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Macy's, Cialis, and by the new comedy Horrible Bosses 2, in theaters November 26th.
It has been snowing heavily just west of here, up in the Rockies, and we've seen a few flurries here today at the stadium. 3rd and 5 for the Broncos, coming out of their timeout. And they're going to have the first down and a whole lot more as Sanders finally faces a collision at the 47, picks up 18.
Well, they were trying to be clever on the defensive side, 3 down linemen, but you always have to be alert. There's a mix-up. They're playing a zone, and you saw on the right side, somebody runs down the field man to man. That's why Sanders was wide open.
Sanders' second catch on this drive. He's on pace for a 107-catch season. Picks up 18. Before that, they had only 17 passing yards. Here's Sanders again. This time Grimes is up on him in a hurry. Holds it to a gain of 2. Tomorrow on CBS, there's a mole inside NCIS Los Angeles, and no one is safe. I can't miss new NCIS Los Angeles tomorrow at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. Sanders comes out for this next snap, and Andre Caldwell takes his place.
I'm waiting for the fake short throw and go deep. The Dolphins are attacking the football at the line of scrimmage. That's 4 short throws. They've been extremely aggressive on every single one of them.
2nd and 8. It's a toss to C.J. Anderson. And he's got room. Look at Anderson. Running behind Vasquez, and Caldwell, who would come in at wide out, did a good job blocking.
They sure did. They sealed the outside once again. Virgil Green set the tone, and it allowed Vasquez to come outside and get that block. But Virgil Green, number 85, just gives you more flexibility in your run game. And if he decides to block for Peyton Manning, he's a very good pass protector too.
I tell you, Caldwell helped give him another 10 yards with a great block. That goes for 25 overall. Sanders returns.
Caldwell's tough outside. He'll catch the ball in traffic. One of those guys that'll do a little bit of everything.
And again, it's Anderson. This time, quick contact from Jimmy Wilson, who came up. Holds him to 1.
Jimmy Wilson, of course, is a extra defensive back. I think it's safe to say, Jim, and just you can see this Miami Dolphins defense, Kevin Coyle, defensive coordinator, they're not going to just sit back and let Peyton Manning dictate to them. They're going to attack him every chance they get.
Yeah, the Broncos right now facing their largest home deficit of the season. Down 11, but driving again with Anderson. And full progress will pick up about 4. This is a Miami team that has won 4 of its last 5. And Joe Philbin tries to find a unique way to talk to his team before every game. Last night he talked to his team about how many, gave him a number, 1,692, and says, what is that number? And that was a number of plays run this year. Plays that he said were proof without tough everybody. Without playing.
I think the biggest thing he says, if we win tomorrow, it's not because we're going to be lucky. It's because we're good. This team believes they can be trying to reach that next level.
3rd and 5, and that's another first down catch on a 3rd down play for Sanders, and an additional amount coming on the back end of that because of Jimmy Wilson.
Got underneath the helmet. We're a long way away, but I could see it from here.
Personal foul. Defense, number 27. Grabbing the helmet opening in the back. Half the distance to go. Automatic first down.
2nd personal foul call already of this game by Jimmy Wilson.
Watch his right hand there. He pulls him down. His
Number
fingers
71 reports as eligible. Number 71 is eligible.
underneath the back of the helmet and pulls him down. Oh, a very good shot there. Paul Kornick, extra offensive lineman, now coming in as a tight end. You think run when you see an extra lineman. Be alert for play action pass.
And Peyton trying to throw a touchdown in his 50th consecutive game, moving in on some all-time records. Going to run it though with Thompson, and again an undrafted back. That's all that people have been talking about, how much they've been getting out of Anderson and Thompson, who had a 2-touchdown performance in their last home game here when they beat San Diego on a Thursday night a month ago.
You know, you look at this, 14-3, crowd getting a little uneasy. They want them to run the ball. Well, when they're trying to run it, which they're doing well here, it's going to change the look of this Broncos football team. But a slow start, but here they are trying to close that gap. So a lot of good things still happening for this Broncos offense.
2nd and goal. Peyton has Tammy, and it's a touchdown for Denver, but there is a flag.
See if it's going to be an offensive pick play.
Pass interference. Offense, number 88. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Demaryius Thomas.
Well, when you're inside the 20, we talked about it earlier, they do so many things to get receivers loose. 88's going to go inside. He's going to break out. So watch what happens. Hits him, and that is pass interference. He extended his arms, knocked his guy back, and you can only do that within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage.
And that was about 3 yards off the line.
Yes.
So the ball is backed up to the 15 now. 2nd and goal. Good slant. It goes back to Demaryius Thomas. He forces about 3 Dolphins to bring him down at the 5. We got an injured Miami player. And it's Odrick. Jared Odrick.
Nice.
Here is Odrick, who was able to get up and walk up to the sideline. And
Orlando Franklin, 74, falls on him. I'm sure it took the breath out of him. A 320-pounder fall on you. It knocked my breath out, but looks like he's okay when you see him run on the sideline.
It's 3rd and goal from the 5.
3 down look, a little different.
Across the middle, and it is caught for a touchdown. Demaryius Thomas.
That was a good job by Peyton Manning. They had it covered. But Jelani Jones does not look for the football. He's all over it. Turn your head, you might intercept the pass. But the quarterback, Manning, I'm sure he sees 88 coming across. He can see that he's not looking, so you throw the football.
That was the 3rd time on that drive they converted on 3rd down. The first 2 times it was Sanders. This time it was Thomas. Peyton now 50 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. Extra point is good. Thomas's first touchdown catch of the month, his 7th of the year. We're back here in Denver. Peyton Manning's first career game. Of course, he started it back in 1998, was against Miami. Late in that game, he hit Marvin Harrison for his first touchdown pass. Of course, he set the all-time touchdown mark earlier this season, did Peyton, breaking Favre's record, and now he's moving on another record, that the consecutive game streak of throwing at least 1 touchdown pass.
Well, they had the perfect defense on, and they still couldn't stop it.
That was, for the record, number 522 on his career, as the tackle is broken, but the Broncos are there to bring down Williams.
Well, Jim, let's look what happens. There's Demaryius Thomas inside. You see all the help. Nobody's open, really. Everybody's covered, except you got to look for the football if you want to knock it down. Tough spot for Jenkins there, being a linebacker covering a wide receiver.
Talib is in. See him at the top of the screen.
Here he is, top 21.
He's gone to the locker room for a brief while. Running up the middle, Miller. And he's got 3 as he's ridden down by Knighton.
Yeah, Jim, some of the things you see when you watch the Dolphins on offense, that time, Jarvis Landry in motion, a lot of misdirection, and they're hoping that misdirection will slow down this Denver defense a little bit.
Miller now with 6 carries for 52 yards. Talib now on the near side. Tannehill lobs it over the top to Gibson, and the ball comes out as Talib stripped it. It's going to be ruled. Is it ruled a completion? It's ruled a catch.
Yep.
Going to mark it at the point where he fumbled it.
Very good. Great mark.
Mark it back at the 20. 3rd and 3. Tannehill hooks it up with Wallace, who wiggles past the defender. Barrow for the first down. Gain of 10.
Well, we talked about this matchup early in the game, and this helps Tannehill get extra time. Dallas Thomas, Von Miller. Thomas sitting back. Oh, he wins the war immediately. He's the first guy to hit him, stays back. Von Miller can't use that speed and get around him. Well, Dallas Thomas, practice is pretty important in the gym. You get a little practice time, you get ready. Definitely playing better. It's early, but playing better than he did last week.
And again, last week, his first career start came on a short week on a Thursday night game against Buffalo. So now he had the full week of practice. His first down throw. And again, it comes out of the hands of Gibson. But it's a gain of 8. This time it was Harris who knocked it out. We got an injured Dolphin. And they don't have much to spare when it comes to the offensive line, and that's Juwan James.
Ooh, left tackle.
Left tackle, who was their first round pick, who had to move to left tackle with Brandon Albert out for the year. There you see Juwan James. They can't afford to lose him. What do you think happened there, Phil?
Jim, just speculating, maybe a little, gets his left arm gets caught, maybe just got a little pinch in there, and moving it around. Looks like he might be okay.
Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. I will find an update on Juwan James in just a second, but just an update on Aqib Talib. You mentioned he was in the locker room. It was a left hamstring injury. He was in there for a while getting treatment. Then you saw him get back on the field. He just briefly went back in again, and now he is out. It looks as though he's going to keep playing through this, but he's been running on it. It's just been bothersome. Jim?
2nd and 4. You see Jason Fox is in at left tackle. And this is James, Michael James, a former 49er, getting his first carry as a Dolphin, and it goes for 3. During that injury timeout, the officials respotted the ball from the previous play when Gibson had it knocked out of his hands again, moved it back 2 yards. So now it's a 3rd and 1, inside 5 minutes to go, second quarter. Tannehill has hit his last 6 passes. And that's Thomas falling right in front of Raheem Moore and a first down, gain of 10.
Good ball handling. It confused me. The mesh point of the wide receiver coming around is so quick, it can slow you down, but they got that defensive line of Denver all moving to the right, and then the cutback.
Look at Fox
Smith.
just in, 74.
Yep.
He took Derek Wolfe to the ground.
And now Shelley Smith is in at left guard for Darren Collins.
Michael James is the running back. First down for Miami. Here's Tannehill. Rolling out, finding an open Hartline. Brian Hartline left open for 18.
I was going to say, come on, you got to give the left tackle some help, but they didn't because they're rolling to the right. And Brian Hartline, we saw him against Buffalo have a big catch all the way across the formation. And once again, the Dolphins moving the quarterback around. Hard to get to him. You don't know where he's going to be.
First catch for Hartline. You can see 8 plays, 10 and above for the Dolphins. His longest touchdown this season as a team. Been only 21 yards for the offense. Now their defense and returns have done some other bigger things, but that was one thing people were talking about this week. And they'll be talking in the coming days about Thanksgiving Day. A good lineup of games, and we're going to lead it off. We're going to be in Detroit for Chicago and the Lions at 12:30 Eastern Time. Look forward to sharing Thanksgiving with all of you.
There you go. Calvin Johnson, always a treat to see play, and Detroit's defense, best in the NFL when it comes to points. The most important stat there is for defense.
Yeah, they had a rough one today, though, as everybody has in the last month and a half against New England. 2nd and 9 as Tannehill has pressure from Ware and still got the pass away to Matthews, who breaks tackles, and the ball comes out, recovered at the last moment by Miller.
Boy, what a job by Miller. That's about, what, the 3rd or 4th time we've seen the football come free. DeMarcus Ware made a great move on Jason Fox. How about Tannehill takes it to the chest and makes another good throw?
It would have been, well, it is ruled a fumble. And that's the right call, clearly coming out, as that's the third time we've seen the ball come out on this drive with Miami moving on. We're at the 2-minute warning. That play picked up 21. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB and Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach. All the scores and highlights. Verizon halftime report. First and goal. Miami's had the football on this drive for over 5 minutes. Tannehill, end zone bound, and is caught for the touchdown. Mike Wallace.
Beautiful throw. Right on target, down low, making sure there's no room. You give yourself room for a mistake. In the bunch formation that they used, what did it do? It backed off the defense, and Talib is in the end zone and no chance to react to the perfect timing of the cut by Wallace and the throw by Tannehill. It's a completion. Don't worry about the knees. The body hits in. That's reason to smile. What a first half for the Miami quarterback. Just continuing the play we've seen.
14. Wallace's 7th touchdown of the season. Wallace now 4 career games at Denver. The first 3 he was a Steeler. All 4 times here he's found the end zone. Ryan Tannehill has thrown his 18th touchdown pass of the season. He's driven the Dolphins down the field 3 times in this first half for touchdowns. That one perhaps the most impressive drive of all. 87 yards in over 5 minutes and 10 plays.
Yeah, 10 plays, time. Your left tackle goes down, your line's in shambles, and you overcome it. Tremendous play calling and diversity of what they're doing, keeping different defense off guard.
Sturgis's kick. And Caldwell with no chance to return it.
Well, Jim, let's look at the touchdown throw. This formation makes them back off. Here's Talib. Mike Wallace just goes out and beats him to the corner. So look at the backpedaling. Now, the quick cut and the perfect throw, low and outside. That is really well designed and, of course, well executed. Just almost a perfect first half by the Miami Dolphins offense.
Denver's offense, 122 yards to this point. But last time on the field, the Broncos go for a score. Taken to the line, and then a Peyton pass is complete to Demaryius Thomas for a big gain, 21.
Really good throw. Peyton Manning now has 2 gloves on just to get a better feel for that football. We see those fumbles. I think that has to do with it's a cool, crisp day. That football can get slick.
Again, Broncos have 1 timeout. This time, it's Sanders for 11.
Now, the Dolphins, when they play this type of defense, they're just not very good. They play back. They're playing zone. Zone against Peyton Manning. You're just saying, okay, we're going to give you some completions. You hope somewhere to find a way to stop it.
As we approach a minute, down the field, long pass and over the head of everybody. Sanders was the wide out in the area. And again, the Verizon halftime report straight ahead. They're getting all set in the studio.
Saw Mr. Football there. Pat Kerwin talking to Bill Cowher.
Pat Kerwin.
JB and Tony Gonzalez discussing something.
He knows football. And, of course, an editorial consultant inside that studio, a valuable part of things. 2nd down and 10.
This is what they're good at, Jim. Crowd the line of scrimmage, make you think.
They're going to run it. Interesting call, but only 1 timeout, and it's one that draws a flag. Anderson for about 6.
Illegal use of hands in the face. Number 64 on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Center, Will Montgomery.
2nd down.
I was about to say, if the Broncos could time this just right, work things out in their favor, they get the second half kickoff. You know, they could put up a score here before the half, come right back out and get the 3rd quarter kick.
The old double, they love it. We've seen it many years with Peyton Manning, Adam Gase, offensive coordinator. There's a fine line, and you have to tread it with Peyton Manning and this offense of running and throwing. Hey, the story here, it's not this Broncos offense, it's Miami's offense.
Second and 20, incomplete.
Well, nice change up that time by the Miami defense. They crowd the line of scrimmage. That time they push the pocket back. They make Peyton Manning make a tough throw to the sideline.
Now on the other side of things, don't forget Miami has 3 timeouts. Denver needs 20 to convert. We've got a man open. And it is Sanders reaching up to pull it down. A flag is on the field near the 40-yard line. He quick snapped it. The Dolphins defense was not ready. That was some catch on top of it all by Sanders for 35.
Illegal contact, number 22 of the defense. That penalty's declined, resulting in the play as a first down.
Sanders' 6th catch now for 77 here in this half.
You know, Jim, third and 20. Third and 20, and you go and try to jump on a 5-yard route. And when you do that, wow, you've played right into the hands of what they love to do on this offense. They are the kings of double moves, and good time to call it third and long because the defense doesn't expect it.
Caldwell in for Sanders. Goes to Demarius, middle of the field. And the clock is still running here with 30 seconds to go, holding on to that 1 timeout.
Yep, plenty of time. Really good job of using the clock so far in this drive.
They get Sanders back onto the field, near side. Again, they go middle, and it's Wes Welker a yard short of the first, and there's going to be the timeout, the last one.
Well, let's go back and look to a play that could be a turning point in this game today. 3rd and 20, top of the screen. Here's the first down. Watch the quick move by Emmanuel Sanders. Well, I was wrong. It was about 8 to 10 yards down the field. Really, what a catch. And the Dolphins very lucky that that wasn't a catch and run for a touchdown. But I always tell everybody this, and you know, Jim, we talk about this in our meetings. Peyton Manning, and since the start of his career, even in Indianapolis, always looking for ways to get the move to go over the top of you. And what's happened here so far today? The Dolphins have been aggressive outside, so he took advantage of it that time on the double move.
3rd and 1, 16 seconds, no timeouts.
You can throw it inside. If he gets tackled, though, you have to hustle to stop the clock with a spike of the football.
Yeah, that would be very close. To the end zone. For the touchdown, Demarius Thomas.
What a job by Peyton Manning. Looked it off. The timing was tremendous. A zone by the Dolphins and a huge drive by this Denver offense. 88. You're Peyton Manning. Oh, it's a little double move. Very common in the NFL. 88 in the slot. Watching. Fakes out. Oh, you make no contact with him. Everybody's got a free release. One of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the league. They made it look easy.
It's amazing that Demarius Thomas could be that invisible in that secondary. Like you say, one of the best in the league on the outside, and no one was near him.
Great learning lesson right there. Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator, goes in and said, to heck with this. You got to bump these guys at the line of scrimmage. He was looking left all the time. Jones, number 20, the deep safety. There was no threat on that side. The only one you had to worry about was Demarius.
Peyton Manning smiling as he walks to the sideline as he takes his team 80 yards in 1 minute and 42 seconds with only 1 timeout to work with. And
well, let's
they got it done.
Let's look at it, Jim. Is there any threat outside? If there's not, then you want to stay inside and watch Demarius Thomas. Here it goes. Oh, he went for the move outside. I didn't see that till just then. So that little head fake by Demarius Thomas is what did it. But he was 8 yards deep in the end zone.
Well, Denver puts together touchdown drives the last 2 touches. And after what happened last week in St. Louis,
yes,
this is what this offense needed. They needed to get the engines reignited, restarted.
nobody's immune to lose a little confidence, even a Peyton Manning with his offense. But these last two drives, very impressive. And that one, overcoming adversity, 3rd and 20, and scoring right before half. It's pretty awesome.
And just 12 seconds to go. We'll see if Miami has any ideas. Pretty nifty little footwork there by Landry. Tonight, how safe are America's bridges and roads? Not very is the answer. Don't miss the 60 Minutes investigation that affects every American. That's tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS.
Situational football, right? That's what it was. 3rd and 20. What happens if they gain 10 yards? Nothing. They punt. That's what they do. Boy, both quarterbacks spectacular here in the first half throwing the football.
And that'll do it for the first half. Miami heads to the locker room with the lead, but Denver drives down the field right before the intermission and will receive the second half kick. Peyton, 15 out of 19, 147 yards and a couple of touchdowns. We're going to go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Well, thanks a lot, Coach. I was going to ask you about your offense, but the defensive breakdown there on that touchdown drive, what happened?
Yeah, well, you know, I think they've scored 7 out of in 10 games. They've scored 7 times inside of 2 minutes. We talked about it all week. They executed better. We got to do better on defense there.
Well, let's talk about your offense and the job that Ryan Tannehill has done in this first half. What's been working to keep them off balance?
Well, I think the run game has been working very well. So we've been in a lot of manageable down and distance, and then Ryan's throwing the ball accurately. So we only had that 1 3rd and long, and they blitzed and they got us off the field. Other than that, we've been in great shape.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Jim?
All right, thank you, Tracy. Broncos had only 44 yards in the first quarter, but 168 in that second quarter. 21-17 Miami at halftime. Back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. It was an exciting first half here in Denver, and Miami leads it as we're about to begin the third quarter, 21-17. Miami has run the football, 90 on the ground. Tannehill sharp, 212 total yards on each side. And Miami will be kicking here shortly to the Broncos to get the third quarter started. But Phil, it was 21-10, and the Broncos had that 3rd and 20, and they went after a corner. One of the matchup issues they had coming into this game. Cortland Finnegan out, Jamar Taylor starting. Taylor beaten by Sanders for a 35-yard reception that set up a touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas with just 12 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So another drive will start from the 20, and that is just really the one play right there that changes the whole tenor of this game at halftime.
I think it's the story of the first half. The fact that the Dolphins, their offense was spectacular. I expected this game to be a defensive struggle at times, but giving up that 3rd and 20, Peyton Manning taking advantage of it. And look, you always have to face adversity in this game. Well, the Dolphins got to find a way to slow this Denver offense down now.
Touchdown drives, the last 2 drives for Denver. This one starts out with an Anderson run for 4, and we go right down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. I had a chance to speak with John Fox coming out of the locker room, and he mentioned that drive and the confidence and the momentum it gives his team going into this half with them getting the ball back. He said they need to tighten some stuff up on defense, especially when it comes to Ryan Tannehill, and just try and get more pressure on him, guys.
All right, let's see if they can take advantage of deferring after winning the toss and kicking to start the game to Miami. Miami driving it right down the field to begin things with a touchdown. 2nd and 6. And much like the way the Broncos started this game by handing it off to Anderson a few times, he gets the first 2 handles of the second half, and they're going to have a 3rd and 3 on the way.
I think the thing that was surprising in the first half, we have so many good pass rushers on both sides of the ball here. Both defenses can get to the quarterback. Neither quarterback was sacked, and Peyton Manning under a little pressure early, but his offensive line got in the groove and just gave him a great pocket. And when you do that with him, he's going to be extremely accurate with the football, which he was.
Broncos have converted the last 5 times on 3rd down. Here's the 3rd and 3, make it 6. It's Welker tiptoeing past the 40. And a new set of downs for the Broncos.
Always when it's 3rd and 5 or less, you have to be alert for Wes Welker And this is one thing Peyton Manning, this offense, has been doing a lot of lately. Oh, he's out right there. Good mark.
Boy, I'm not sure with his toes, the back of his foot was out of bounds. They go ahead and mark it back at the 32.
Well, put it this way. John Fox is not going to challenge this one because it's the second half. And those timeouts, you cannot risk losing one of those.
It's about a 9-yard differential. And Anderson's going to get it anyway. Runs it out there for 12 into the arms of Jones.
This is the best they've run the football in this formation. 2 tight ends. The double team on the right side is what really works. Will Montgomery, Manny Ramirez, that double team allows the running back, that time Anderson, to pick up good yards.
We talked about Lynch giving him some advice. Marshawn Lynch, he told Anderson, make people feel your story. Feel your story. That you weren't drafted. They didn't believe in you.
So you want to interpret it just,
be angry.
Yeah, be angry. That's a good word.
That's Kerry. Angrily gets 5. And he was, of course, quick to tell us that there were 22 running backs that were drafted in my draft class.
Yeah, there was. He wants
completely aware of everyone taken.
Well, he came, and to make a football team in that situation here with the Broncos loaded with talent, he did it by knowing what to do on all assignments, could answer any question Peyton Manning asked or the offensive coordinator, Adam Gase. That'll curry your favor in this league when you know what to do.
2nd and 5, and it's Thompson this time. Look at Thompson running hard. Another good find for this Bronco personnel department. Von Miller is on oxygen on the sideline, and they haven't even been out for a snap here. The defense.
He's getting geared up. You know, I never got the chance to ever do that. It must be good. You ever done that?
I can't say that I have.
Well, you got to stop talking to get some air.
Oh, okay. There you go. That was some setup,
no,
man.
It wasn't.
I should have seen that one coming.
It came to me.
3rd and 1. And there's Thompson galloping for the first down to about the 28. Running behind Montgomery. Or make that Ramirez.
Ramirez, 66. Pulls around. They block down. They kick out. That was really well done. This offensive line today kind of getting back to being, you know, you get an offensive line, you can't always pass block. You got to get some run block going to give you personality, give you toughness, and be aggressive.
110 yards on the ground between those two backs. And they are just pounding the Dolphins defense here on the ground to start this 3rd quarter. That's another 3 yards. Anderson that time.
We heard it all week long, you know, oh, you can't throw it 50 sometimes and run it. What did they run it last week, 9?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
And they had a kneel down in there, too.
Yeah, so, look, I agree with what they decided to try to do today, and they're doing it well.
Saw the balance on the play selection. 2nd and 7.
It stops blitzing when you run the football as well as they're doing it so far here today.
That was Earl Mitchell jumping across the down lineman for the Dolphins.
Encroachment. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
The defense that, in the words of Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator, has gone against murderer's row of quarterbacks. There goes Mitchell, the former Texan. That's the 3rd Miami penalty. All of the penalties on the Dolphins, all 3 of them have come on the defensive side.
Peyton Manning, one of the best, using that voice inflection, drawing people off sides.
The defense has already faced Brady and Rodgers and Rivers and Stafford. 2nd and 2. There's a quick cut for the first down by Anderson. He's rolling around like maybe he was shaken up a little bit, but this is what Miami's done against a lot of these top quarterbacks. They won week 1 against Brady. They lost with just a second to go against Rodgers, Rivers, and Stafford. They should have won the game at Detroit, and Stafford throwing a touchdown again with just seconds to go.
That bottom line, they've sacked, it's 13 sacks against the Big 4. No sacks against Peyton Manning here today.
Yeah, not one. 1st and 10. They toss it inside. And that's Anderson for 5 more.
Good little misdirection. Everybody's trying that in the NFL now.
And we've got a shaken up lineman. It's Franklin for the Broncos, and actually springs to his feet. He's going to step off for a second. But they made this point, Coyle did, the coordinator of that defense for Miami, about, hey guys, I know you get hung up and, hey, we're going to Denver. We're going to have to play Peyton Manning. You guys have faced upper echelon quarterbacks, and you've done well.
That's right. That's what, hey, don't get intimidated before the game starts. And, hey, we know, Jim, this Miami Dolphins team, they are confident. This offense has got them reeling a little bit here right now.
Ben Garland comes in at guard for Franklin, and falling within a yard of the first is Anderson.
The one thing you notice about Anderson and Thompson running this football today, which you gotta love, every time they get tackled, what are they doing? They're falling forward. It's a big difference, 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 3. So now, everything is at the Broncos' disposal. They could run the football. If they don't get it, they can try it again on 4th down.
Again, they've been superb on 3rd down. They've got 3rd and 1 with Franklin returning at left guard after sitting out a play. Peyton looking for another option, and he's going to cut his losses. There's the first sack of the game for the Miami defense. Jenkins was barreling down on him.
Here's what happens to them. They're trying to pick for Welker and watch the defense come up and take advantage of it right away. Ooh, it was clean right away. I'm surprised that could have been a penalty. I thought he looked out there. I thought they came up and had the coverage. That's why Peyton Manning didn't throw it.
The sacrifice is 8 yards. It's a 33-yard field goal attempt, and McManus hits the upright, no good. This is becoming a problem here in Denver. There is no confidence in the kicker. They've had a couple of chances where they passed up field goal tries. And this one from only 33 out, no good. Well, that was a 7-minute drive almost, and it produces no points for the Broncos after the missed field goal by Brandon McManus from 33 yards out. Here's the throw for no gain. Williams stopped right at the line. So here's McManus's kick. And with the miss, he's now missed 4 of his last 8 attempts. And look at the reaction from the sideline. Look at Thomas in the background slamming a helmet down.
Well, it was hard work getting down the field and not to get anything out of it. It's a big emotional letdown.
2nd and 11. And they'll face 3rd and 8 after Miller picks up a couple. With NFL Mobile, stream live local Sunday afternoon, primetime games and NFL Red Zone right on your smartphone. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile.
Jim, too, when you think of that field goal, I think players, just like us and like fans, it's like an automatic. You just expect the field goal kickers to make it no matter what the distance. Big down for this Broncos defense. They haven't got to the quarterback. Looks like they're not going to blitz this down either. Going to let their front 4 and pass rushers do the work.
Slings it across the middle, and Sims has the catch. And let's see if they come across where they're going to spot it. They're going to have it for the first down.
Looked like he got it. That was a quick decision, and Tannehill trusted his eyes and said, I'm going to just rip it in there. And he's done a couple of these today. Sims right over the middle of the ball, anticipates. Boy, a couple really tough, nice catches by Deion Sims.
Yeah, that really was. T.J. Ward was right there. Very nearly got a hand in there. He's frustrated that he failed to. Miller is going to be taken down behind the line by Brandon Marshall. And a loss of 2.
Jack Del Rio's had enough. He comes to the blitz on the outside. You're going to see Chris Harris from the left. Defense slanting down inside, nowhere to go, and Brandon Marshall Plays well every single week.
There's Del Rio. Let's see what he dials up here on 2nd and 12. Facing a quarterback, Tannehill, who's completed his last 11 throws. It's near side, and it's pulled down. Nice piece of running, too, by Gibson. And he's going to have a first down.
Well, they got great faith in these wide receivers outside. Here comes the blitz. Watch Miller couldn't draw quick enough. He gets the protection, and Ryan Tannehill, again, when you know there's a blitz, there's nobody going to be outside, boy, to help the defender. And Gibson, that was a pretty good slap, wasn't it?
And you see Talib right there watching from the sideline with his helmet off. That was Omar Bolden defending. And hamstring keeping him out of action as Tannehill is taken down for the first time. It's Terrence Knighton.
The initial coverage down the field gives him extra time. Terrence Knighton just keeps working. And Malik Jackson, 97, makes him go left. But Terrence Knighton gets the tackle.
And it's a sack that sets them back 12 yards.
First sack of the game by either team.
Second and 22, knocked out. Incomplete. Incomplete. That was Roby in on the play. Gibson the target.
Yeah, Jim, it's the second sack. Peyton Manning, I forgot, he got the sack at the end of the last drive. But Roby read it, left his man, came up, made the hit to get the football loose. Bradley Roby now moved to the outside instead of inside. And when you have that guy on the sideline, that's always going to hurt your pass defense.
Roby, their first-round pick out of Ohio State. 3rd and 22. Again, they're coming after him. Pass away to Landry. And he's got only a gain of 3 as Harris was not going to be faked out with the juke. So Miami will be punting with inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter.
Well, the defense got the sack because of good coverage. You could feel the energy in the stadium just lift right after that sack, and Broncos defense took advantage of it.
Fields, just his second punt of the game. He's got a big leg. That travels 52 yards. It's Burse. He's going to get back a couple. Ball comes out at the end. The ball is out at the end. I believe John Denny's on the bottom of it. The long snapper. And it's a Miami recovery. It is John Denny who sent it back to Fields. Snapped the punt, went down and covered it up. He's already been on one tackle earlier in this game. The other punt. And Burse was fighting for extra yardage. And there you see the ball is out the knees, nowhere close to being down.
Well, everybody's so good at it. That's Williams, the running back.
So the rookie looked like he was going to be down about 4 yards forward of that, and then slipped out of a tackle and retreated, and on the second contact and collision, he coughed it up. Another Miami drive will start on the Denver side of the field. Denny, the longtime Dolphin, coming down the field and making the recovery. Set up now at the Broncos 12. Over to Landry, almost picked off. Would have been clear sailing for Chris Harris. But wait a minute, did they say that he's making sure they called that an incomplete pass and not a fumble?
Side judge said the football went forward. Jeff Triplett didn't rule it incomplete.
No, he
because
didn't.
He was not sure. Can you challenge this? Yes. Well, the football did go forward.
Yeah, there's no question that was going forward. But you're right, Triplett initially did not say incomplete, so Harris turned around and looked, said, maybe I should run this one out.
Well, you can tell the football was definitely going to go forward. Boy, defenses are getting Denver's defense. John Fox wanted to know if he should challenge it. And that's if they're listening, I'd say absolutely no way.
2nd and 10. Ward immediately in on the hit, incomplete. Knocks it out of the hands of Damian Williams. Tracy, let's go down to you.
Guys, you see Aqib Talib still on the sideline. It is that hamstring, that left hamstring that he injured in the first half. He is officially listed as questionable.
Jim, you go in at halftime, sit around. It's just going to get tighter and tighter. That's probably what happened to Aqib Talib. 3rd down, they're in field goal range. What you do here, I would think you play pass coverage.
Timeout called by the Broncos. 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter and a big 3rd down snap on the way for the Dolphins.
The only reason I think in this situation you get aggressive on the defensive side just to make sure they don't get the touchdown or a 1st down. But I think if the Broncos do blitz, I think it's extremely risky in this situation.
What was the reason for the Denver timeout? They were short-handed out there. They had only 10 men on the field.
4 crossed, 4 more, and there's 2. That's 10. Those are mistakes that you just can't make any time in this league anymore. Timeouts in the 2nd half, so valuable.
And Burse, who's hoping that his mistake only cost his team 3. Pick up at first at the 2. A 3rd and 10 snap. Pass deflected and picked off. Miller had it for a moment. Ball is free and it's recovered by the Dolphins. Plus a flag to boot. Pouncey ends up with the pigskin.
Oh, there's a flag down near the goal line. There was nobody open. Tannehill was throwing. Yeah, that football was going into double coverage.
Prior to the interception, holding on the defense. The 5-yard penalty for the previous spot, 1st down.
The automatic 1st down off the defensive hold on a 3rd and 10. Never cited the culprit.
Let's watch right there. See if there's some holding contact down the field. There it is against T.J. Ward. That's where Tannehill was going to throw the football also. So the arms went out. The grab.
And now a 1st and goal to go for Miami. Miller, the running back.
Running formation.
3 receivers to the right. It's Miller. Held to 2.
Terrence Knighton. I'll tell you what, Jim. Terrence Knighton, Sylvester Williams, Malik Jackson, Mitch Unrein today inside. These guys never take a week off. They never have a down week. But every time you watch them, you go, well, there they are again. They just make plays. They're very good against the inside run. That allows Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, more chances to go at the quarterback.
2nd and goal, just outside the 5. Tannehill, Landry, touchdown, Miami.
Terrific catch. If the Dolphins do win this game today, the wide receivers have made tough contested catches. On the outside, the slant, it's up high. He just rips it out of the air, protects himself. Look at that.
And the rookie is in the end zone yet again. He had a touchdown in the Dolphins' last game against the Bills. That's his 4th of the season. And what a sequence of events that was for Denver. The missed field goal, the ball hit, the defensive hold call, and then finally the Miami touchdown, cashing in off the burst fumble. Tannehill with 2 touchdown passes on the game, plus he's rushed for another. Well, Ryan Tannehill's having another good afternoon of it. Tannehill actually once attended the Manning Passing Academy, going into his senior year at Texas A&M.
Well, since the first quarter, look at that. Denver piling up the yards. A couple long drives.
Stepping up for this Bolden. Patient for a moment, and Sturgis knocks him out. Nice return, though. And Vladimir, the rookie, helped spring him for a 40-yard run back.
Well, 2 QBs, the numbers do not lie in this case. They have both been razor sharp. Decision making has been outstanding. Accurate with the football. Peyton's always hot. Ryan Tannehill going on quite a streak here of good quarterback play.
Jared Odrick was injured earlier in this game. He's on that defensive front for Miami as Thomas comes over to get it. But he's covered up quickly. Good play by Taylor that time. The SEC on CBS heats up your holiday with Friday, the Razorbacks tangling with the Tigers, and on Saturday, the Egg Bowl. Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Starting with Inside College Football and College Football Today.
Jamar Taylor made a nice tackle. One of their pet plays they use all the time. Inside screen, only gets 2 yards.
And there's Anderson. Nice piece of running that time, and he's got the first down. Gain of 9, and he's moving in on 196 now on the game for C.J. Anderson.
Right side, double team that time by Vasquez and Ramirez, and boy, did they get it done. The one thing this offensive line has done all year long, they're double team blocking. When 2 guys hit one, just run behind him, and you'll pick up 4 or 5 yards.
You had just talked about Jamar Taylor making a nice tackle on the previous play. This time he is shaken up, and this is already a thin secondary without Cortland Finnegan. Koamisi also was hurt on that play. He walked to the sideline.
Down at the bottom of the screen, 22 is Jamar Taylor. Ooh. I don't know which arm hurt. The left. He had his left arm extended, then he landed.
He is in a lot of agony. The second-year player who was taken in the second round in last year's draft out of Boise State. And look at Lowell Rose, first-year man out of Tulsa, free agent. Walks onto the field to take on Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Peyton's going to strike. They're going to strike one, and it's incomplete. That was Grimes defending on Sanders.
Beautiful throw that time by Manning. Welker in the slot's going to be open too, going down the middle, but he goes for the home run ball. Little contact. That was just enough to keep Sanders from catching it. A little contact about 5 yards before he reached out. Kind of threw him off balance, and I think that's one of the reasons why he couldn't pull it in.
Jason Trusnick's come in for Nisi, and again, Rose stays on the field.
Well, he's got to be nervous.
He's guarding his Rose. Demarius Thomas is running play. Anderson with a nice catch. He broke a Rose tackle, and he picks up 8. He's over 100. It's only the third 100-yard performance of the season by a Bronco. Ronnie Hillman had the other 2.
Well, look who's blocking first. Virgil Green. That's the guy that's really had a great day blocking. Look how many yards, we've said it, he gets after people grabbing. And he falls forward for an extra yard or 2 every time.
You wonder if Peyton, when he's going to try to go after Rose, particularly that matchup against Demaryius Thomas in place here again, bottom of the screen, 3rd and 2. Rolling out, we're going on again. He's got it this time. Sanders, and he's overthrown. Would have been a touchdown.
I think they're going to go for it on 4th down, but that was a nice play. The Dolphins diagnosed what they were doing, but if you cover them underneath, Peyton Manning sees Sanders deep. He knew he had it. Sometimes the football comes out of your hand so clean it goes long, but they're going for it on 4th. I think this is a decision. I would do it too if I was John Fox. They did this last week against the Rams. It did not work in their favor. They're going to blitz them.
4th and 2. They run for it. Anderson's got it inside the 30. Slips through a tackle, and Rose then takes him down at the 21. Orlando Franklin, boy, he got a lot of heat this week. Watch the block he throws here, 74. And that's the last play of the 3rd quarter, 28-17, Miami. Could be a great 4th quarter ahead. Denver enters this final stanza down 11. Taylor being taken to the locker room. Miami undermanned in the secondary. Nisi is back out after sitting out a few plays. Denver driving to start the 4th. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson. Clayton rolling out, lobbing in, and again, Sanders had separation. There is a flag down. Fox has his arms in the air. Working the official, working Jeff Triplett.
Quarterback is out of the pocket. There is no illegal contact.
Well, that was some job by Sanders. Just rotated out there as soon as he saw Peyton Manning break the pocket and go deep. And Wilson grabbed him. That's why the flag came down. Little hook. Oh, that was a planned play. Man, that is some nice design and execution. That was going to be a walk-in touchdown.
2nd and 10. Thomas. Nice catch. Nice move. Down to the 4. Reached down and grabbed it and managed to weave his way through the secondary.
First time all day they made that quick throw, really worked to the outside. And there's where you have to worry about Demaryius Thomas. He cuts inside and just gashes the middle of the defense. Seen him do that many times in games. You keep giving him chances to those quick throws, he's going to make some people miss, pick up yards.
1st and goal. And back to Thomas. Touchdown, Denver. His 3rd of the game.
Really well done. Nobody to help Grimes on the outside. He's playing outside technique. The linebackers come up. Nobody there. Beautiful execution once again. And now they're going to go for 2 to make this a field goal game.
Try to make it a field goal game, and you're always...
I would not do it.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
No. 28-23. Now a field goal just by the Dolphins makes them have to score and get 2 points. So I think this is a risky decision.
You think it's too early?
Yes. Well, they always say don't chase them. I think this is a little chase them, but they have a lot of plays to run down in this part of the field.
They get Sanders into the backfield. They fake to Anderson, go back to Sanders, and they got the 2. Boy, did that work.
Yeah.
It's a 3-point game, a minute into the 4th. 28-25 Dolphins.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new LG G3, the world's first smartphone with laser autofocus. And by Outback Steakhouse. Outback, no rules, just right.
A touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And just like that, Denver cuts the lead to a field goal.
Wow, look at those numbers.
3 touchdowns today for Demaryius.
8 in the last 8.
And the touchback And we'll see Tannehill and the Dolphins come out here. 14 minutes to go in the game. Here's the touchdown. And then Sanders got in the act with the 2-point catch. During that break, Demaryius Thomas was on the trainer's table getting his right ankle stretched out a little bit. And here comes Miami. First down play. A carry by Miller for 3. How about the offensive line now without Jawan James? He has not returned. They've got Fox in there taking his place. Yeah, we talked a lot about Thomas on the right side coming into this game. Has not given up a sack to Miller today.
Well, he's had a good job today. He's been, I think, very good in the run game. And you said it, giving Tannehill enough time to throw the ball down the field.
Tannehill's been sacked once this afternoon. 2nd and 7. Fires it. Gets it for the first down. It's Gibson with the catch in front of Moore.
Well, that's another one. I'll tell you, these receivers said it earlier. Gibson, number 10, going down the field. Watch Raheem Moore come and just snatches the football out of the air. Great technique. Left hand on top, keep it away from the body, pull it in.
Gibson, who had a touchdown grab in the last game against the Bills. 5 catches today after coming in with 13 on the season. Talib appears not going to be seeing any more action today. Still out with the hamstring as Miller is tripped up and slips and falls at the 32. That was Marshall who got a hand on him. Leads to a 3-yard loss.
Brandon Marshall, we talked about him with John Fox. What a job he's done coming in this year. Just making so many plays. And the quarterback of the defense right now. So that's a lot of pressure on him. And a couple of weeks when Danny Trevathan comes back in, he might just be able to just sit back and play and not worry about calling those signals.
Yeah, linebacking core without Trevathan and Nate Irving now out for the year. They've needed guys like Marshall to step up. And he has. 2nd and 13. Here comes Miller. Throws at the last minute. Pass incomplete. Sims unable to hold on to it. Ward came in after him.
Really good looking defense that time. They showed him a different look and they made a pick play so Von Miller could come in there untouched. Tannehill does a good job just getting rid of the football.
It was Miller beating Jason Fox as Miller's moving around a little bit and he went after the left tackle. Fox had only seen 16 snaps this season before getting called into duty here in the second half.
High alert, brother staying back. 3 pass rushers in there. Always be worried with that look.
Tannehill on 3rd down. Gets the completion, but Denver is there to cover it up. Matthews well short of the first. Gain of 6. Miami will punt.
Man, this Denver defense, the numbers are good when you start looking at what they can do. But boy, they do a lot also. They give you so many looks. Hard to really prepare for what you're going to see. Here comes the blitz a little late. Dolphins all over it. But speed behind that blitz to make the tackle.
And it was Webster who made that tackle. Burse, who fumbled the last punt, is back deep. Fields.
Low kick.
Flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Here's Burse. It's near the 20. It was a 61-yard punt.
Holding number 34 the offense. A 10-yard penalty be added to the end of the play. First down.
Called on Damian Williams, so they'll add the yardage and Denver will take over at the 30. Peyton and the Broncos now with some momentum. Have never led in this game. Denver has not lost at home this year. 5-0. In all 5 wins against teams with winning records. Indianapolis, Kansas City, Arizona, San Francisco, and San Diego. And they're taking on a 6-4 team right here.
Can Miami regroup? Because that last drive, they looked like they were in disarray. They have some injuries. They got to settle down.
And now throwing to start this series. Back it off. Anderson shifts past the first hit. He got away from Shelby and gains 8.
And
yeah, you were saying, though, that Miami's defense looked completely out of sorts that last drive.
Yeah, they were confused a few times. People wide open.
I just lost Taylor on that drive. Did not seem like they knew what they were doing.
That's right.
With the secondary adjustment.
And the other thing is the offensive line for the Broncos. Peyton Manning getting great protection because they're running it. That helps. But this offensive line took up the challenge. And they definitely answered it so far.
2nd and 2. Westbrook and Anderson. And he's near the marker.
That was the story, right, Jim, this week? All the line, getting just shredded by some of their ex-Broncos and everybody in the papers, everybody talking about it. And if you want to make a group angry, like offensive linemen, I'll tell you what. A lot of pride on the line, and they have come out and taken care of it.
Wake is sitting out the start of this series. They're shifting around that personnel on the defensive front. 3rd and 1. And that draws the flag. It's going to be a first down with the infraction against Miami.
I don't think he went across the line of scrimmage.
Neutral zone infraction, number 94, the defense. A 5-yard penalty. Result for a first down.
Let's see if he goes across. He did not. I thought he did it on purpose, but it wasn't on purpose, but he did not cross the line of scrimmage. The other helmet might have touched that neutral zone.
Gives Denver a first down near the 45. An easy way to get out of a 3rd and 1.
Absolutely.
Play action. Down the middle. Has the connection with Sanders. And he's hobbling.
Trying to go deep. Demaryius Thomas on a double move. If he's not open, here comes the deep crosser. Boy, good job by Delmas reacting, coming up. And good job by Sanders holding on to that football.
Yeah, gains 19. That was not an easy ball to hold on to. And he's trying to stretch out the lower back off of his 7th catch for 96 yards.
Everything that they're doing on offense is working right now against this Dolphins defense.
From the Miami 36. Anderson gives back 1, maybe 2. We've got an update. James Brown will deliver it from our studios in New York.
Hey, Jim, Rams aren't folding.
Don Hills finds Stephen Bailey for the 5-yard touchdown score, narrowing the gap. San Diego up 27-24.
2:04 left in regulation, Jim Nance.
All right, well, this team right here, thank you guys. You know all about St. Louis having lost to them last week, 22-7. 2nd and 11. Anderson, look at him driving. And we got a flag down.
Holding, number 74, the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Called on Franklin. And just a reminder that a week from Thursday, back on the NFL Network with the Cowboys and the Bears from Soldier Field. We'll be there for Thursday Night Football, Dallas and Chicago. December 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern, live NFL Network.
Boy, look at Orlando Franklin, his reaction to this hold. He's very upset. Can't believe it. You know, it's an emotional week for him. Being called out, everybody talking about him. We talk about offensive linemen when they don't do well or they get penalties. Today, he's been outstanding.
2nd and 19, a spot foul. Pass is caught. As Sanders had to sit out only a play, and he's back in making another contribution. 3rd and 2 coming up. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. You mentioned this Miami defense, and now without Jamar Taylor, he was in excruciating pain as trainers were trying to maneuver his shoulder. It looked as though they were trying to pop it back in. They took him into the locker room. He is officially out for this game.
All right, Tracy, big play here because it's 3rd and 2. You're down 3, and you don't have a reliable kicker at the moment.
They haven't picked on Rose, the new corner, yet. Here it comes.
And Sanders, with a flag down, has the catch. That was Akins.
Akins that time.
Yeah, it was Walt Akins defending. The catch was good for 13.
Pass interference, defense, number 35. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Calling it tight today. Does grab him and pulls. Got the jersey, so that was a good shot.
And Miami having to go really deep into the lineup here in its secondary. Akins, Lowell Rose, Finnegan out, inactive for the game with the ankle. Peyton's hit his last 6 passes.
Yep, tough to blitz when you can't trust the pass coverage.
Manning flips it over to Anderson. Shakes a tackle and steps near a first down inside the 10.
Just a big key to this game. Everything. Doesn't it seem like it, Jim? They're not bringing them down with first contact. So it's changing all the scenarios and situations for the Denver offense.
Entered this quarter down 11. And now with a chance inside the 10, 2nd and 1. Trying to drive to take the lead for the first time.
Seems like the Broncos, and they have been on the field so much. Dolphins defense
Miami
has to be tired.
A Miami timeout. Their first.
I think they're mad because Denver substituted. They said, well, you didn't give us enough time to figure out what we were going to do on the defensive side. But I saw them hold them up, didn't you? They were trying to give the Miami Dolphins time to make their substitutions, which is the rule.
Yes, they did. He got 2nd and 1. Ball's going to be snapped near the 6. Gives Peyton even a whole assortment of opportunities here to try something without necessarily having to go to Anderson on the ground. But he's going to do that anyway. Anderson has the first down. 1st and goal to go for the Broncos from the 3. Oh, and there's the flag. You wondered how many whistles would it take before everyone would break off, and let's see what they do. This comes on the back end of a play in which Anderson had him set up 1st and goal from about the 3.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 66 of the offense. The runner made the line to gain. It will be 1st down and 10 for the offense.
So it's called on Manny Ramirez. Look at Peyton in the background.
Peyton trying to get the crowd quieted down. I'm watching 66. It's hard to see him.
And as pointed out by Triplett, this is going to be a 1st and 10 situation back at the 19. Up and over, and Sanders is going to draw the flag. He's going to get the Broncos that much closer, as Jimmy Wilson's going to be flagged for that, to hold. Wilson, this will be his 3rd penalty of the game.
Prior to the pass, you can use the hands to the face, number 27 of the defense. The 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
All-out blitz, nobody in the middle of the field. So Sanders going down the middle against Wilson. 27 inside. Boy, it happened quick. He must have grabbed it because, yeah, there Sanders says it. That was a good changeup by the Dolphins.
First down now for the Broncos from the 14. Over to Demarius. Starting with a 3-touchdown game, and he's down near the 10 as we approach 5.5 to play.
Well, they had cut down throwing some of these quick passes to Demarius Thomas. And they don't like to do it too much because of the contact and defensive backs flying up in there. But today, they need this victory. All hands on deck, and they're throwing it to Demarius as much as they can.
2nd and 6, a drive that's taken almost 6 minutes. Again, Broncos looking for their first lead of the game. They're going to run. Anderson is across for the touchdown. Running behind Orlando Franklin.
How about that? You could hear the contact on Franklin's block as he pulled around and made the hit. And look at him in the end zone. He is one fired up guy, and I don't blame him. 74, watch him coming around. It's Jelani Jenkins. And Anderson has just been spectacular all day long. Boy.
Just his 2nd career start. C.J. Anderson. Ignored by everyone on draft day a year ago out of Cal. McManus adds the extra point. And the Broncos' 2nd touchdown of the quarter. 15 unanswered points. Well, just listening to the hit here. Franklin on the block to spring Anderson to the end zone.
He's saying, hey, how do you like me now? What a job by Orlando Franklin today. And the whole offensive line, they have been tough.
McManus, a good boot that time. They have out-yardaged Miami 204-37 in the 2nd half. Now we'll see what Tannehill can do with 5 minutes to play. And there's a look at how dominant Denver has been in the 2nd half. Look at the yardage totals.
Well, you can't abandon the run just because you're down in 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Tannehill hands it off. And that's Miller for 6, maybe 7. Week 12 continues tonight with Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys and the Giants. That's on NBC. Tomorrow on ESPN, the Ravens and the Saints. And just remind everybody that also tomorrow, the Jets and the Bills will be playing from Ford Field in Detroit. Check your local listings. Those will go to the local markets.
We're going to be in town. Should we go call it?
I know you're going to be there. No, we're going to let Spiro.
Oh, okay, we'll let them do it. Okay.
Yeah, do the game. Solomon. There's Landry for the first down. I know you'd like to.
No,
you're going to go watch it, though.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get some work done so we can enjoy it. And Spiro and Solomon, let them do it, and I know they'll do a great job. But you look at this drive, that first down, I'm watching that clock closely because you got to make a decision somewhere. If you get another first down, then you're in 4-down territory because the Miami Dolphins defense, you cannot think they're going to stop Peyton Manning and get a 3 and out.
First down, Tannehill. Pass in the air, intercepted. Deflected into the hands of Ward. T.J. Ward gets around home line. Inside the 20. And pushed out by Tannehill. It bounced off the hands of Landry and Ward with the pick.
It was tipped as he threw it over the line of scrimmage. Watch him throw. Does Knighton get a hand on this? Well, I couldn't tell that time, but it was kicked up in the air anyway. Coverage was tight. T.J. Ward, haven't had a chance to mention his name, but he's made a couple really big plays on the defensive side today.
You're right. Watch Harris here, how tightly covered he had Landry. And it bounced off Landry's fingertips right into the arms of Ward. And now Denver is set up at the 8-yard line.
Oh, it skipped his shoulder pad, but I don't know if that threw it. It was thrown kind of hard, so Landry, covered tightly, couldn't get his hands up to catch it. Well, now, knowing the score, you got to change your defense here if you're Kevin Coyle. You're shorthanded. It's rough. If you got a blitz or two that you have not called today, now you bring it out.
Yep, you've got to hold them to a field goal.
And the biggest problem really for the Miami Dolphin defense, they have put zero pressure on Peyton Manning except for maybe the first and second drive of the game. Cameron Wake is not in there again.
Up top, Manning, Walker, and the former Dolphin is down to the 2. Look at John Fox come over here. John Fox actually coached TJ's father, Terrell, at San Diego State back in the early 80s. Timeout called by Miami. Well, the early headlines. How about the Cleveland Browns? Mike Pettin and the Browns win it on a field goal by Cundon to end the game. Now 7-4. The Patriots keep on rolling. Wright had a couple of touchdown grabs. Brady sharp again. And T.Y. Hilton, his wife, gave birth to a little baby this morning, and he cradled that football symbolically as the Colts advanced to 7-4 with the win over Jacksonville. Look at the AFC playoff picture. You got New England having already defeated all the other division leaders.
Yep.
And it almost felt like to me that we were there for Denver at New England as we now reset. The Broncos have been still staggered up till about midway of this game.
I think that's a good point. I think you're right.
2nd and goal and rolling out. Flipping it over to Walker for the touchdown.
Haven't seen that rollout for a few weeks. They do it a lot of different ways. It just takes away all the pass rush. And Wes Welker, well, that's just a good fake. You see the little skip he gave to Wilson? Peyton Manning on the run. What a nice throw, right on target.
2nd touchdown catch of the season for Welker. You know how you talked about Peyton coming back from games after a loss, averaging right on the number, 4 touchdown passes, winning every time on all 7 occasions after a loss.
370 yards in those games. Well, today 257, but
got the 4 touchdowns.
28 of 35. This game, this could be a turning point. The Broncos, the offensive line, it got physical.
Extra point, dead center. Set up by this. Ward with the interception. Welker with the touchdown. Those have put up 22 points in this quarter. And we were beginning to talk about how there were maybe these lingering effects for this entire roster after losing at Gillette Stadium so decisively. I really sense that even though they had sandwiched in between the 2 losses a win with 50-plus points at Oakland, but they didn't seem themselves until the second half of this game. They went back to the team we saw going into New England until the last 2 quarters here today.
No doubt. They lost a little bit of their mojo. They didn't even play well that big high-scoring game, I thought, against the Raiders. But here's the key, and they learned it today, and I promise you it won't change the rest of the year. They came out and established the fact that we're physical. They ran the football, and your offensive line determines what your team is. When it's tough, you have a tough team. But today, this Denver offensive line, absolutely outstanding. And give C.J. Anderson some credit to go along with that offensive line.
They've run for 175 yards. The Broncos, that says it all. Pressure in on Tannehill, whose pass is complete. Pass goes to Hartline. Miller again almost got to his former Aggie teammate, but unable to drag him down. Gain of 21.
Don't forget, when you get in situations like this, If you don't like it, if you get in field goal range, you kick it because you need 2 scores.
Underneath the middle, and he's got 8.
Dolphins still have 2 timeouts. Boy, obvious passing situations. Still time to throw it for Tannehill.
With 2:18 to play. Gets it away. And gets it over to Wallace for a first down. Just remember, next Sunday is a doubleheader day on CBS, and a lot of people are already billing this. Who knows, baby? The Super Bowl preview, as we'll have the Patriots at Lambeau Field, Brady and Rodgers. It all begins with the NFL Today next Sunday at noon Eastern Time. Can't wait to get to Green Bay. Got to go to Detroit first for Thanksgiving, but that's going to be some matchup next weekend. The way the Packers and the Patriots are coming into that game on such hot streaks.
Hot streaks by the teams and the quarterbacks.
On fire. Tannehill. Wolf chasing after him. Unloads it over to Sims.
We talk about that Denver offensive line. Let's give a little credit to what this Miami offensive line has done today. You know, Dallas Thomas, so much talk about him. He's having a good job. And how about Jason Fox? Comes off the bench, goes to left tackle. Hey, don't worry about it, Jason. You only got to worry about DeMarcus Ware over there. So far, excellent job by him.
Tannehill 4 out of 4 on this drive. Desperation time. He's hit 4 different receivers. Through the hands of Matthews.
Get a good break, 2:01.
With extra play.
Tremendous anticipation by Tannehill. He's looking at the coverage, but the throw looked to be on target. Well, once again, Bill Lazor, the offensive coordinator, Ryan Tannehill really controlling the football, just on target with every throw.
Wallace on the sideline on a knee. Thomas stirring the crowd here. 3rd and 7. And it's Landry short of the first as we reach the 2-minute warning. First snap out of the break will be a 4th down play. Well, Miami still has a chance, but 4th and 2, this is it. They've down 2 scores, 1:55 to play, and a couple of timeouts.
Yeah, what you do, Ryan Tannehill got to know the situation. I know he does, but if it's not there, don't forget you can run for the first down.
I'd like to welcome those of you who saw the 49ers beat the Redskins. Miami on 4th down. Able to keep on moving as Landry takes a couple of hits and the rookie holds on. Got a flag down.
There'll be a personal foul against Malik Jackson.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 97 of the defense. Piling on.
Malik Jackson is
15
a
yards
great
at the end of the
hustler
play,
when
first
the football
down.
is slowing down the field. He'll hustle and try to get that extra hit in, and there's the defender. He's down, he falls on top of him. That's a good call.
And Landry limped to the sideline off of his 6th catch, including a touchdown. For those of you just joining us, we've got San Diego having just closed down St. Louis. 49ers winning. Miami led by 11 coming into the 4th. 22 unanswered by Denver. Here's Tannehill going to the end zone and incomplete. Headed in the direction of Wallace. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and an investigation into the dangerous state of America's roads and bridges, followed by new episodes of Madam Secretary, The Good Wife, and CSI, only CBS. Quarterbacks in this game, they both played well. Tannehill's pick happened in this quarter off a deflected ball off the fingertips of his own man. Landry has come back in after sitting out a play. Sims stumbles in motion. Tannehill from the pocket goes to the end zone, and it's incomplete, but a flag is down.
Beautiful throw. Same throw he had at the end of the game last week, Jim, that he missed. But he was so upset about. Looked like the defender got there early, just watching it live.
It was Omar Bolden.
Pass interference, 31 to the defense. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1 yard line.
To this game with a hamstring.
There's the move. Yep, he did get there early.
Sets the football up at the 1.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Arm around him. Not that that would be a penalty, but it's the fact that he leaned on him and gave the receiver no chance to catch the football.
So a 20-yard penalty against Bolden. And inside of 2 minutes, it's a booth review. They want to make sure that ball wasn't caught, is what I believe Triplett's doing. Rashard Matthews was the receiver, and also might be checking to see if the ball was tipped.
Nope, never was. Didn't see it. It's knocked down.
Okay.
The ball's knocked down.
Definitely not caught
by Bolden, who creates the foul.
So Triplett's under the hood.
You can review if the football is tipped. Didn't see anything in that replay to let me think that at the line of scrimmage or the defensive back tipped it before the foul occurred in the end zone.
You know, this was starting to feel like game over after Miami scored 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes, the last being the pass to Wes Welker, and now all of a sudden they've gone 79 yards down the field.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Yeah, you're right. They were reviewing whether or not the ball had been tipped. If there had, in fact, been a deflection or a tip, it would have
been no penalty.
No penalty at all. It would have picked up the flag.
Just don't forget to, I know they're ready, 11 points down.
Philbin running all the way down to the inline, goal line. Talks to the side judge. 1:37 to go, first and goal.
He's still down there.
Play is whistled dead. That was Dion Jordan, who was
Denver.
lined up
Their second
on offense.
30-second timeout.
Yes, the former first-round pick, defenseman, who has been a disappointment, but he lines up on offense there, Phil. It has his chance negated by the whistle.
He's down here. That's why they call timeout. But they got time. Look at everybody calling it in here. So way before the football was snapped. But I thought we might see him today in some formations and using. He's so big, and I think they're finding out, hey, he's got a lot of talent. Wouldn't surprise me in the future to see him take a few steps from the tight end position.
He's got to find some ways for that talent to come out and make a difference. There's Philbin still patrolling the sideline. First and goal. Empty backfield. Tannehill's pass. Touchdown. Landry. His second of the game.
Great design. The fake sweep widened the defense, and all you need is a little window, and Tannehill fires it in. See the defense widen? Von Miller.
Look at Philbin.
He's been down there for, I've said it, quite a while. Here's a 2-point conversion.
He let Jeff Bergman know right away, the line judge. 2 fingers in the air, but here we go. Dolphins trying to get it back within 3. Tannehill with time, and that's going to draw another flag as Hartline was knocked to the ground. Had Moore in the area, along with Ward.
Pass interference, defense, number 43. That foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Redo the try.
Hold on, T.J. Ward. There have been 3 penalties on the Denver defense on this drive. A couple of big ones. Oh, yeah, no question about that.
Man.
Had the Malik Jackson penalty, the Bolden penalty that set him up at the 1, and now another crack at the 2. The run for it. And over Thomas. Ball came out, but he had crossed the plane, and the signal is Miami got the 2. That's the ruling on the field.
Inside, Darren Collins, the center. He's the guard. Oh, yeah, he's way over. That is a great job by Thomas. But Samson Satelli, good push on the inside. That's the toughest part of this Broncos defense. When you can move it or stalemate it inside, you've done a good job.
Thomas, who had the game's first touchdown on the game's opening drive. Miami went right down the field 80 yards, and Thomas found the end zone. Hasn't been used much in between, but comes in and brings the Dolphins within 3. And remember, Miami has 1 timeout as we anticipate this onside kick. 1:34 to go. We'll see if Denver's able to recover it. That would end it. For those of you who are expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. A shootout between the Dolphins and the Broncos. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson, Lance Barrow, Mike Arnold, and our entire fabulous crew here at the Mile High City. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following the game, except on the West Coast.
You know, we had the advantage last Wednesday. Remember, we went to see the Dolphins practice, and they were trying some onside kicks, and you can see right there, they got both guys out there. They got the punter, Fields.
Will it be Sturgis or will it be Fields attacking the football?
Which way will it go?
It's Sturgis, and it goes to his right. And it's recovered right away by C.J. Anderson.
Pretty clever what they did. You thought it was going to the kicking team's left. He turns it around and goes to the right side. Oh my gosh, look at that.
How about C.J. Anderson today? 167 total yards, including the recovery that will close it out. Look at that move.
My back is hurting me right now.
It reminded me of a kick long ago from my youth. Tony Fritsch did that for the Cowboys in a playoff game against San Francisco and pulled it off. But the Cowboys won a game out in San Francisco in the old Landry era, 1972.
Well, you try to catch them off guard. Of course, they're going to kneel on it here.
No, they don't kneel on it. Anderson, and he's got 2 more added to his total, putting him now at 141. Just 1 timeout for Miami, and they use it now.
Well, you know, I saw a game like this watching Notre Dame and Northwestern. Instead of kneeling on it, they ran a play, they fumbled, and Northwestern came back and won the game. Tied it up and won in overtime.
Again, here's the lineup tonight on CBS, 60 minutes, and then all new Madam Secretary, the Good Wife, and CSI. Miami cannot stop the clock with 90 seconds to go.
Well, maybe they wanted to get a few seconds off the clock. Now Peyton Manning could take the snap and drop back to do it. So there is a couple seconds of downtime there. That's why they ran it. So I was a little too quick with my assessment.
20!
Anderson breaking free inside the 30. Smartly just falls at the 16. Game over.
Well, that'll definitely end it.
26 yards for C.J. Anderson.
Well, you know, really, it's well earned by C.J. Anderson and his offensive line. Look at Orlando Franklin still hustling down the field.
You know, they honored Champ Bailey this week. He signed a contract, a 1-day contract, retired as a decorated Bronco, and he was particularly close to C.J. They both were injured last year and spent weeks and even months training together. Told him this week when he came here for the celebration and the news conference how proud he was of Anderson. And C.J. told us, you know, I'm special with the ball in my hands.
I believe
I'll tell you what, he's proven it. Let's update the playoff picture on the AFC side. The Broncos at 8-3 now. Miami's going to fall back to 6-5.
C.J. Anderson gives this offense what it needs. A power runner who can protect Peyton Manning. It's a nice blend to go along with their passing game.
Now they go on to Kansas City. That's Denver.
Yep, big challenge there in a night game next week.
I'll tell you what, they may look back at that 4th and 2 late in the third quarter when they went for it down 11. And Anderson picked it up as a play that may have gotten them back on track for the remainder of the season. Look at all the teams in the hunt. And Miami falls back to 6-5. And that right now is currently 10th position in the AFC. This is a huge play in this game.
Oh, look who makes the big block again. Orlando Franklin. Of course, Virgil Green, we said it, had an awesome day blocking from the tight end position.
Picked up 20 yards on a 4th and 2. And there are the old Aggie teammates meeting in the end, Miller and Tannehill. There's the lineup tonight on CBS 60 Minutes. Madam Secretary, The Good Wife, and CSI. This was a fun afternoon.
Great game, a lot of fun, a lot of plays on both sides. And
we're heading to Detroit. We'll see you folks on Thanksgiving Day. For Phil and Tracy, Jim Nance saying so long from Denver. You've been watching the NFL on